welcome back to Stay Shining. I'm your host, Diamond.
It's your boy, Dante. Welcome back, everyone.
And we're back with another episode. Guys, it's been a minute and we've missed you all so much. But in between, we have to have those growth learning lessons. Well, let me speak for me for a second. I feel like our life moves hella fast. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of lessons to be learned. And I can't be spitting games to you guys 24/7 because I got to learn some lessons so I can be level-headed and be able to come back to you guys with a lesson.
Mm-hmm. And basically, if we don't take these small intermissions, we don't give ourselves that opportunity for evolving, leveling up, and growing from those experiences. So we need those opportunities in our lives to be able to bring you some quality feedback on what's going on in our Stay Shining world and what it's taken for us to basically get to the next level and to basically maintain our shining ship. Because
we don't be shining all the time.
We don't be shining all the time. It's a constant grind to shine.
Exactly.
And a lot of times you have to go through it to basically come out on the other side.
And I mean, that's where Stay Shining was birthed from. Honestly, me going through it so many times. And I'm like, okay, there's something, like I would always tell myself, like there's something in me that is wanting more for myself, so I can't stay in such a dark place for long.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's God, I don't know what it is, because I know sometimes it's not me, but there's something in me that I'm like, okay, Diamond, it's time to shine. Like I gotta.
Well, a lot of times, just like when your feathers get ruffled, a lot of times it's not a good feeling. So you know, when those uncomfortable change opportunities come, that's when it's time to like. We know that change is going to be ever changing and it's going to come, right? Yeah. And sometimes we either are not prepared for it or we're prepared for it. And a lot of times most of the time, nobody's prepared for it. But when it's the opportunities that you see it coming, you got to know that this is your moment for some like movement in your life. Some real growth opportunities.
Or you'll be forced to change it.
Or you'll be forced and you will feel, oh my God. I would rather be halfway prepared instead of forced, because when it comes, man, it's just like 2012 movie, like the whole earth shifted, it's the storms, like it's like half of the planet's frozen.
And I think that's why I'm so like overly like prepared and making sure like I overly am so on my ass, because I'm like, I don't need to be like, I don't want any unexpected, you know, like I should already be knowing, if that makes sense.
Well, you know, it would be great to already be knowing, but sometimes, you know, in baseball, they hit you with the changeup, they hit you with a curveball, you know, a knuckleball, depending on how the batter's standing, his position, his space and away from, you know, his angle, right? So the pitcher, which is you as the person that's writing your story in your life, you know, the person that's in control of the game, you got to know what kind of pitches that you're going to be throwing out, and as the batter, you got to know what's coming your way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So like you can basically maneuver and adjust.
It's a sport example for me. Like, but no, that's totally right. But like this episode is all it's gonna be about evolving and growing, and how, you know, like we're evolving and how we're growing.
Yeah.
And I feel like another way that I'm prepping myself for 2024 is making sure that I'm really like locked in on my habits and putting discipline as my forefront in my life, because a lot of us like people tell me all the time like, you motivate me, but I'm like, I don't want to motivate you. Motivation is just a feeling. It's like it's just an emotion. It's a feeling. It comes and it goes. But when you have discipline on the forefront, then it's something more serious.
You know what? People always give me a hard time about, you know, Dante, why do you work out so much?
You're about to say that? That's what I say.
No, but even like you, or not even you, because you don't really give me that. Yeah. But a lot of people are like, dude, why do you work out all the time? Why do you have to go to the gym? Why do you spend so much time on your physical fitness at your age? Does it really matter? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, this is my happy place.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing that brings me my zen. So if this is something, if you have that thing that's in your life, whether it's biking, hiking, jogging, running marathons, or whatever you're trying to do that gives you your zen, other than going to the bar and like, you know, drinking yourself under the table,
right?
Like be happy with who you are and what you've decided that is happy for you. Because don't let nobody take that from you. Don't let nobody tell you that ain't your happiness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if Like, if I want to spend 24 hours in the gym, I will, because I am happy, and I describe that as my happy hour. So you got to find those little pieces of yourself and like kind of think about
find and discover, try new stuff, because we've discovered some new sports.
You might like zip cording.
Like, I don't know, we discovered a new sport that we didn't never think we would be playing, but we be out there playing pickleball.
There's some pickleball.
So you know, it's just like sticking to what you love doing, and like don't let anybody be in your ear. Because I feel like I just wrote a new blog post on my blog, the Spotlight blog.
Where can you find it?
On my website, HOLLY PRODUCTIONS.com. But the way that, what was I going to say?
On your blog.
On my blog, how sometimes we don't want to do things because somebody else is already doing it. And I feel like with my generation, people are so like that. Like, oh, they're already doing that. I don't want to just step out there and do it randomly. But like, that's who you want. That's what you want to do. And it's just like, you can't let people have their judgments and projections on you.
There's 8 billion ways to do it. Choose one and do it your way.
Crying, guys.
It's so true though. I mean, you can honestly take the same playbook, the same thing that somebody else is doing, and make it your own. And it's yours.
Like who cares? Everyone brings their own flavor to anything they do.
It's your own energy, and basically, where energy goes, energy flows.
And back to what you were saying about the gym. Well, how I feel about the gym. The gym is a place where people are committed to personal growth. Like, it's not just the gym.
And it wasn't even just that. It was what you were talking about. Motivation.
But I didn't want to put that.
Motivation versus discipline. I get up 9 times a week and I go to the gym, right?
7 times a day. Well, how many days?
There's only 7 days in the week, but I go 9 times. Maybe 12. But, no here nor there, one of my friends said, I don't care if you're training for the Olympics. Like, she was
wait. I put on my story because you and Tom, we have training sessions with my dad's friend Tom. He's a trainer.
Training with Tom is going to be coming to you real soon.
And literally, like, they're up in the gym doing some Olympic stuff, and I'm like, I'm just here to train. I'm just here to train. Like, I just want a good body. And they're like showing off, doing the most, and it's
Tom's
so funny.
Like in his 50s out there doing windmills.
I'm
with
like,
his lower half, and I'm like, this dude is off the chain. I said, you see this kind of energy?
They're so excited.
You know what I mean? Like, it takes a certain mentality
and
discipline to come in here with this kind of energy every day, and like, you know, spew that kind of energy out to other people. Like, you know what I mean? And like I said, that's why I said, like, that's one thing I've learned for myself, that's a very positive place. It's a very happy place for me. And whether you got a mosque, a church, a park, a tree you sit under,
we all need to find our zen.
You need to find that happy thing that you love spending hours doing, and own it and make it yours with intention. And so that goes back to something else I was sitting there thinking about. I was just like, I was listening to Rob Dykstra, the skateboarder guy.
Dear Dad.
Okay,
he's never good with names, guys. If you literally watch us, our season 1 and season 2, he gets every name out.
I know, like Beyonce and Rihanna. Like,
because they're first name people. Like
Usher.
The first name people. One word. Like it's just a name. It's not a last name. Okay, keep going. What did Rob say?
But basically, he says that we're in control of 3 different things, right? Our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions. And I can honestly say, if I was to check my stuff on the list and say epic fails, I would say emotional intelligence, fail. Actions from that, all bad, like fail. Thoughts around everything that got me to that point, all bad, right? And so I've learned with this sabbatical, with this time that we've had off, is that these are growth moments to discover and uncover some things that have basically not been serving me well. And so a lot of times with growth, we like to add more stuff. Like I was adding education, trying to make more spiritual, trying to make sure my physical attributes were there. However, I didn't think about the things I needed to take away out of my life that was not serving me well. And I said, oh, okay. Thoughts, actions, and emotions that were not in the best place. And I had to figure out where those things came from, which was driving me to respond that way. And I said, okay, aha. So I had some aha moments. And when I discovered that, now that put me on the path to want to evolve, level up, and grow even more. And then put an action plan together. And that action plan has more of, I'm going to approach things not intentional, not with intentions, but with intention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And basically honoring myself with that intention. And like I always say, I always be one of those people about being selfish versus selfless. And if you're selfish, then that's a bad thing. The hell with that. I'm saying no more jumping on the grenade. I say,
or others too.
You gotta not try to absorb all the shrapnel from everybody else, getting hit. Like, people going to get hit, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
In the words of Rick Ross, everybody ain't gonna make
it. Yeah.
So stop trying to shield people, right?
Because being selfish, it's protecting your peace. At the end of the day, you're protecting yourself, because some of us are people pleasers. Some of us just go above and beyond, So being selfish sometimes is definitely needed to protect ourselves.
What do you do to be selfish?
I mean, I feel like I just know when I can't over pour into people's cups, especially when no one's pouring into my cup. Like, especially when particular someone is not pouring all the way. I can't overflow anymore. And I feel like if I'm being selfish, I want to be selfish and just like protect myself from that. Like, sometimes you do have to step back.
I mean, and
it hurts people's feelings when you're selfish. Is what like.
Well, I mean, if you're already depleted of your natural resources, somebody has came to your world and pillaged the whole planet, right? You can't fill other people's cups if you have nothing left in your own cup to even replenish yourself.
And it's just like, being selfish, it hurts people's feelings a lot of the time, because you're doing what's best for you, and you're no longer people pleasing, and you're no longer playing that role that they're so comfortable playing with you. So it's just like.
And one thing I've learned too, though, about being selfish, and like, we're all selfish in what we want in life.
Exactly, you have to be.
And you kind of got to be, because even in relationships, somebody got with you because they were selfish in what they could get from you. You know what I mean, or attain, or gain, or the feelings that they can have by being in your circumference or bubble, right? But once those feelings of sensation are gone, then they're going to be selfish and move on.
Exactly,
to find someone else that's going to do the same thing. So that happens with businesses, friendships, everything that you do. People are going to be more self-serving of themselves. So you got to kind of think like, oh, okay, I can't be that giving. Right. You know what I mean? I can't be boo boo the foo foo and like give everything I got. You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, you gotta guard yourself, and that's kind of like when I say honor yourself. You got to kind of make sure you put these protective vices, these boundaries in place to make sure nobody comes and invades your galaxy
and makes up the aura,
and sucks your resources.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's draining. It's vampire draining.
It is.
What is it? Vampire? What do they call it? I'm blanking right now.
What, Count Dracula?
No, what do they call it, Dad? When it's like energy vampires.
Oh, okay.
Some people are energy vampires.
Yeah, energy vampires.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
And some people not even energy vampires. Some people just suck your emotions.
Without even realizing
suck your happiness.
So that's why you have to be the one to realize it, and like in all of that, even when my dad was explaining the things that like he had to notice in himself to make a change, like. That all requires self-reflection, and we talk about this all the time. Like, you guys have to take the time to reflect. Many times out the week, because like we're all running, we're all robots, we're all busy, and so like without self-reflection, we're not able to really grow and evolve. We're staying stagnant because you're not picking up on the signs within yourself, and. Yeah.
And that brings me to the next point where I was talking about not just like intention in your life, like living your life with intention. Yeah. But I always used to say, have purpose, be purposeful, and then be goal oriented, right? Yes. But now it's not even just that. Not just that. I'm gonna throw a different one out there. Value. You know what I mean?
Elaborate.
I want to basically gain and gather and attain more value when I'm being purposeful and when I'm working on my overall goals. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it doesn't have any value, and my my mental health coach was telling me. He was just like, well, like a strainer. If everything funneled through, then it won't be the greatest selection. You know what I mean?
Like that.
However, but when the ones that really funnel through, that's supposed to kind of be there.
Yeah.
When that funnels through, the recipe might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because it was a little bit more selective.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything didn't just get in there. Everything didn't make the cut.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? Like if you're cutting French fries up and then you put the whole potato in there, but you don't really like the ends, but and then you got like all the ends in your like batch of fries.
No,
like you'd be kind of like, oh my gosh, the meal wasn't as great if it was just if I had the nice slices that I kind of wanted. So it's just all in how you set up your end result, what your goal and your purpose. It has to have value.
Right. I like that because I didn't even think about like obviously, but like putting it into words and actually thinking about it. That's another thing. I feel like most of us, we know so much, like we know a lot, but it's like we have to put action behind things and we have to put that extra thinking behind it to figure it out again in this present moment, because it's not going to be what we learned back then. Like we know about it, but it's all different in this present moment. So that's
like we were talking about before. You were talking about like you didn't think that older people could change and stuff like that.
I mean, growing up, I've seen a lot just put up with accept not change because they're older.
And a lot of times it's like it's hard to change those neural pathways that we've been fashioned with, molded with over this time or that period in our lives that was tough, or we went through some pain, some suffering. And now we've held on to those cultural norms or those things that don't serve us well. And a part of growth is, like I said, letting some of that stuff, alleviating those things, letting some of that stuff go, being accepting the fact that it happened. It was purposeful at the time, whether it was this mistake or part of the journey. It was needed. It was stuff that was a part of the whole thing. But you got to accept who you are, where you're at, and where you're going, and let some of that baggage just like stay behind. And it's like you said, it's harder for us older dogs to do that because it's just like, that's what made us, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we're so hardcore and like we're so
But I appreciate how you, like, that's what made you, but now you are saying, okay, I do want to progress with the times. Okay, I do want to be able to connect with everybody. So I appreciate you for taking the steps to have that self-reflection and know what you need to change. Like,
the best thing about you guys' generation, your TikTok generation, is that my daughter's a TikTok alumni, so just so you know.
Actually, when I'm TikTok famous, then I'll be alumni.
But the one thing about the younger generation is the level of what was accepted in the past is not accepted now.
It's like,
and you guys have more resources and more information to basically say, nah, that ain't gonna work. That don't serve me. I ain't rolling with that. I don't care if my mama, my daddy, my grandmama, my uncle, my cousin, my best friend. If they ain't doing right by me, deuces. We was friends for 2 weeks and deuces. I'm like, but for us older people, we're like, I was married for 25 years.
It's
I'm
like,
sticking it out. You know what I mean? Like, that was my boy. He was my best friend for 30 years. I know he's been a little crappy. But, hey.
Unhealthy loyalty.
You know what I mean? Like, one of my partners was like, man, I appreciate you. But you got that motherfucker.
There's a lot of things you gotta let go.
You got your friends, family, whatever, like, haters, like all that. You gotta let it go. Let it be. Like, it is what it is. Ain't no holding on. Ain't no turning back. Like, once you've did it once, there's no point in learning that lesson again.
And that's why I would be so mad at myself from the past, because I'm like, oh, God is replaying these lessons, and I'm not picking up, and I gotta move on. And that's like one of like the shittiest feelings.
And some of the things that killed me because you're like my daughter and everything, and then you bring a friend around and they like stab you in the back. Like one time, a year goes by, no, we're best friends again. She stabs you in the back again. You're like, oh my god! Like it's like
okay, but that's really
they do the whole reach around where they just put the knife right in your back, twist it real good, hold you real, hug you. And
okay,
like,
no,
and then you're like. Oh, that's my dog.
Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Okay, I can't be a little. I'm very much like that, and that's so real. I feel like in season 1, I talked a lot about like those friendship breakups and those friendship hurts, but I was honestly playing a bad cycle over and over and over again, and it affected my life. It affected my family because my friends, I bring them into my family. We're all family, so it affects the situation, and so like that was a lot I've dealt with, and I have to relearn a lot of things. But now, like I said, when we move with purpose and goals and intention, and realizing
you have
who aligns with that,
who aligns with your value, and when you find the right people that align with your value, you have a better outcome.
It's the visual. It's the Blade visual. You said the okay.
No, I know, but I love that one because
it's the Blade for me. That was so Blade, guys. You guys watch Blade? It's honestly the most amazing movies ever. I hope to make a new one. Sorry, that was random.
To me, it's just like your best friends or your best buds or your best people sometimes be the ones, or your best family members or your favorite family members or your spouse or the person that you're supposed to roll with the most. Be the ones that just like.
But that's why you gotta have a self-reflection. That's why you gotta know yourself inside out. Like I tell myself, I tell the podcast, I tell Diamond's Corner, like I built me, and I took a lot of isolation in my life, alone periods, months to years to build myself up into this person where I'm not that anymore, or I'm not, So it's just like that's what life's all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Building yourself. We're still learning. This is a learning process.
It's growth. It's everybody's not going to align with you.
Yeah.
Some people are not going to be in your solar system, and sometimes you got to kind of like slingshot them out of your orbits and stuff like that to just get them.
It's sad, but it's worth it because at the end of the day, you know where you're going in your life, and if you don't, well, me personally, I know where I'm going in my life.
You better figure that shit out before you come around me.
No, honest to God,
I'm gonna be if I got a saboteur, it's gonna be myself. I'm not gonna let somebody else come and sabotage.
And that's on period, and that's on being selfish because you know what you want, and you know you have a purpose. And guys, if you're looking at like that reaction, I feel like that's the reaction all of us have, because some people be getting real upset when people have boundaries and are selfish and are just really confident in themselves. Like that reaction would piss somebody else.
You know what?
Who's insecure. But you need to carry yourself like that.
That is so true. A friend of mine, she says, "Oh, when I get married, I'm going to basically have like time off from my husband once a year and have boundaries and stuff like that." And I was like, honestly, it makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense because I was sitting there like, oh, in the family, when you got kids, blah, 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 you don't do that, you don't take breaks, their love is like unconditional, you got to keep going, blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it, I was just like, after being married and being separated, I'm like, that would have been probably a great idea if we had little mental health breaks from each other and like sabbaticals where we had like our own,
everyone needs their moment.
A little piece of ourselves within ourselves away from the significant others. And that's how you got to be with your friends too. Mm-hmm.
You have to refill your own cups.
Exactly. And so that to me made so much sense now, 4 years later after they said that to me.
Damn.
Took 4 years. I've been thinking about that for 4 years. I was actually offended, like you said. Yeah. Some people get offended when somebody says something that's logical.
A little right.
Right? But once again, our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions make us act in a way where it's not becoming of yourself, because like, oh my God, you didn't even think about it. The first thought you said is based on that rational emotion that you had from that crazy experience.
And I have something to add. Like basically we all like base our new experiences on old ideologies, on old concepts, on old things that we've been through, when really every day's a new day. We can't carry those old ideologies into the present because it's different, and you gotta keep writing.
Like I'm always be like, oh, I'm from Compton, blah blah blah, and I'm sitting there like, okay, the shit that happened in Compton was so long ago. Like I'm 46 years old now. Like even when I was in the Marines, I was in the Marines, blah blah. The shit was so long ago. Like, get over yourself. Like, that shit was over 27 years ago. Like, the shit that happened in your 30s, get over yourself. You had a bad relationship, get over it. Like, oh, your kids don't like listening to, like, do something different. Like, you don't enjoy your life as much. You're out of shape. You're overweight. Like, change the narrative. There's a gym calling your name. Get to it. Feel better.
Or on YouTube. YouTube, sorry.
Exactly. Do what you got to do to change your mind, your body, and your soul, and you'll get such different results. But once again, like I said, with intention, and add value to it.
Yes.
And you'll get so much more out of your growth opportunities that you have in life. Because, like I said, they're opportunities. Mm-hmm. We have a choice and we have a chance. God gave us a chance to make it through the billions of sperm cells to even be alive. The fact that you can make it to 25 in the world, not just in America, but imagine somewhere in like Africa or India or something like that. Now that's a dynamics that none of us Americans even have to even think about.
Right.
Right. So the choices we have every day comes with the thoughts we have, the actions we take, and the emotional approach we use to those different things.
Right.
And like I said, I am using these growth opportunities to more tackle those things because I can't believe that I've been boo-boo to foo-foo for such a long time operating the way that I have been operating.
It happens, but that self-reflection will really teach you about yourself. And my dad
self-reflection and having a daughter, that'll aid this. She talking about she found a statistic that says dads live longer when you have a daughter. I said that shit's killing me right now.
He's so happy about it.
I'm like, oh my God, having a daughter is just like, man, have you ever been a father sitting on the top of a roof with a 12 gauge making sure you keep all the riffraffs away? Like, that is a father's job there.
Oh my God. But yeah, it's just all about, evolving, making sure that we're not waking up tomorrow and doing the same shit we did today because like
you were saying, it's 90 days left, less than 90 days.
Oh, yeah. We literally have a new year, literally like tomorrow.
It's
going to go by so fast.
It's like 75 days left, right? Right. What are we doing?
And we all got to start prepping ourselves right now.
Shit
in order.
Like I was saying, it's like, okay, when they fall from space in the spaceships, there's two ways to do it. They crash, land, hit the surface, everything explodes, leaves miles and miles of collateral damage. Or everything happens just right. It enters orbit. The parachute comes out. They land in the ocean. The Navy goes and picks them up. Everybody's fine and dandy. Right. So, in a sense, are you going to end your year like that going into 2024? Like on fire like a mom? Or are you going to basically set it up where you had a positive re-entry into the new year because of the exit that you had from this year worked out the way it was supposed to.
And I feel like how I'm living my life at this current moment, like I'm making sure I'm on my ass heavy because these are going to go, the months are going to go by fast, and this is prepping me to get myself in a routine of new habits that need to be working properly because they say it takes 20 days for a habit to really set in for you. So that's why I feel like this is the perfect time to change your habits up and practicing those habits. Everything in life is a practice.
That is so true. I mean, I would say it took 21 days. I read a book when I was 22 and I was just like, man, I don't believe this crap. And so one day, believe it or not, guys, I smoked for 8 years when I was an adolescent or a young person in my teens too. When I got out the military and I got here.
That's true.
And I was just like, wow. Then I read that book. I said, you know what? I added up how much it costs for cigarettes. And at that point in time, it was $2 or something for a pack of cigarettes.
Dang, really?
A carton of cigarettes.
I bought cigarettes for $15 a day.
It was $14 for a carton of cigarettes. Gas was 80 cents. So I was just like, oh my God. I got kids. I got a life that I want to maintain. I got a healthy regimen I want to incorporate in my life. But I'm sitting here smoking these stinking cigarettes. What is wrong with me? It says it causes cancer.
What is wrong with me?
Right? And so I thought about the book I read, and I said, okay, take that last cigarette, I threw it away, and 21 days later, it was the hardest 21 days of my life. but I honestly got rid of that habit, and I never went back to it.
I mean, it's worth it. Look at you now. I'm glad you be smoking those.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine. My boy TJ was like, man, I can't believe you smoke cigarettes.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Like, who was on that? Like, and I'm like, I couldn't believe, like, I had the mindset, once again, of self-sabotaging, knowing that this was going to harm my health.
And we all do that so much, guys.
And it's just like, but luckily that was at a young age, but I mean, I can say I took a lot more L's since then. I've had a lot of other stuff that I wish I would have took 21 days to correct.
It'd be like that.
So, but life is about, once again, evolving, leveling up,
learning from those mistakes,
and growing,
not setting yourself back.
Yeah, and looking at the opportunity and everything. You know what I mean? If I didn't look at the opportunity of how much money I could save, how much of a better father I could be, how healthier I could be, you know, that I could get back into running again. You know, I can go take my kids on a run. You know what I mean? When I started thinking like that, and then after that, we used to do all the 5Ks and all the different marathons and stuff like that. It was very uplifting, but I was trying to put an expiration date on my life by having the wrong mindset and not thinking that I can evolve and I can grow and level up.
Right. And we're all capable of doing it, and change, you know, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Okay. So when it comes to change, growth, and evolving, that's something that 1% commits themselves to. And over here, we're the 1%. And if you're watching, thank you for watching this episode.
Because you're a part of the 1%.
You clearly want to evolve, and we all have the opportunity. We all have a purpose. We all have a meaning here on this earth, we call it.
And one thing about this wonderful opportunity we have, like our choice and our chance, is it's 8 billion ways to do it. Choose one. So you can, like Jay-Z was like, it's almost a million ways to do it, but I won't choose one. But I'm like, it's 8 billion.
They got it.
So if you got 8 billion people, and half of them live in poverty and impoverished, and no water and no civilization, no infrastructure, a bad government, no food, no water, like no education. And then, like, for all of our viewers here in America, that 330 million people that are actually in a better space in the world.
Have it so good, but still not wanting to evolve.
Yeah, I'm like, hold up. Like, Rihanna came here from another country, and like, she's like, she took over, and she's like the #1 black billionaire. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, all y'all black folks been here all this time, and ain't nobody been trying to do a Rihanna. Like, no, what does it take?
We got to.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's like, we're all like feeding in, like nowadays we're feeding into the wrong things. Like we do social media, guys. We've been doing this shit for a long time. We know what to consume. We have to consume to create it in a way. So it's like we see what's going on, and it's like even right now, like 2023 October, so much negativity is taking over our lives. So when we're online, so we do need to take a step back. We are those people, like we're the content that is going to help you, and make sure that you're putting in that type of content in your life, because we're consuming daily, but most of us are consuming toxic stuff. So make sure half of what you're consuming is valuable.
I challenge people, because we were talking about earlier how people in their negative comments, and it's driving people to do negative things based on those comments. But I challenge all of our viewers, all of the people everywhere, to basically, instead of putting that negative comment, hit delete, reword it, and put something positive. How about you find the inspiration of what somebody did within that, to give them a positive comment. Like, there was a car, and I always go in the comments and try to, when everybody's been so negative, I say the positive people. Of course, you know, when there's lemons, you make lemonade and all that kind of stuff. But like, I look for the fact that this person had the ingenuity to do whatever they were trying to do.
And post it.
For
1,000 people.
And they got whatever views they got. But everybody wished to put the negative comments on it. But first of all, they went through all the work to do what they needed to do. They made it to where they needed to make it to, and they actually got you watching and you commenting on something that they did.
Yeah.
So obviously it worked, you know what I mean? But instead of being negative about it, how about we congratulate them for the positive attributes that it took for whatever they posted or whatever they did in a positive way to help elevate other people who are commenting on those different things. Right. So we can spawn a chain of positive reactions versus all that negative
bullshit. No one wants to hear that. Nobody wants to see that. It's so disgusting.
It's 2024 and we're sitting there talking on some negative stuff.
It makes you look so bad.
What's the words you guys use that
weird?
Weird and what's the other one? That's so. What's your friend Krishan on the show? Weird and goofy, right?
Something. He said your friend Krishan.
Yeah,
that's my homegirl.
Because we was watching one of those baddie shows or some show.
Yeah, we were watching that. We were tuning in.
Yeah, we were watching.
Tuning in.
Don't get chin checked like Natalie. We was watching the show.
God, you're so funny.
And she was just like, "You being goofy. You being goofy. You being weird. That's just weird." And I'm sitting there like, at first, it didn't make no sense. But honestly, it made a lot more sense than I thought. Because I was just like, you know what? A lot of this stuff is goofy. It is weird. Like, to fashion your keyboard or mouth to say something negative takes a lot of energy, right?
Yeah.
You know how less energy it takes to say something positive and how much
it's like serotonin when it's when you say something positive.
And then do you know the positive reaction people get from you saying something positive and then the light it shines on stuff?
Yeah.
It makes you stay shining, it makes you bright, you know what I mean? It makes you like,
and that's the effect that we need to have. Just
so
universally.
Be positive, you know, in the universe, there was darkness, and then there was light. There was negative, and there was positive. Like, let's be the positive light that we want to see.
Because there's new babies going to be born. And
yes, we're going to pass on this
new generations. Like, we're all not going to be here together, so we need to start the train reaction now.
Yeah, like, why we continue this dogmatic viewpoint of being negative all the way through generation to generation?
Yeah.
I mean, we seen what the Romans did. They were
okay, Dad. No.
But it's you know, all the warring.
This is for my ladies. I asked my dad. We all know there's a trend about the Roman Empire. All of us girls, we all know. I asked my dad and my brother. I went outside. I was like, "How often do you guys think about?" They literally said, "All the time." And it was like, it's so funny. But Dad, we're not getting in the Romans right now.
No. I'm just saying. I was just picking out a cruel point in society. And now you gotta think about it. It's just as cruel now as it was in the caveman.
Exactly, and we can't.
And we're talking about a time where it was limited education, and we have more resources, more education, more outlet than we've ever had, and we're gonna consume. And we're gonna have our dialogue be surrounded by negativity. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't understand.
It starts with us.
It's people going to Mars and like.
He says that every time.
It's people building spaceships. It's like electric cars, and we're focused on the negative thing in the world.
Whenever I have an excuse, my dad's like, "People are going to Mars."
Whenever you think of some of this negative stuff, I want you to think of all the stuff you have not done that somebody else has. Go figure out what you need to be doing for yourself.
Right, because if you're leaving another comment, you ain't got nothing.
You ain't got nothing. You need to be working on your real estate degree, your college degree, a better job. You got too much time that you sitting there hating on folks.
Okay, guys, we're rambling. Okay, but to wrap this episode up, we love you guys so much. Also, make sure you guys, I don't know where I just said we love you so randomly, but go on our website, HOLLYPRODUCTIONS.com. We have a full page of a blog, mental health resources, so you guys can get into mental health. You know, we all need to take a step back, length, clarity, all that. We'll have another episode on that. What else do we have on the website?
We also have our wonderful veterans page.
Our veterans page. That's a new page on the website.
Resources on there too. And then also all the spotlight blogs of all of the wonderful creators that you have gathered as a part of the DHP community.
And thank you so much.
Telling their wonderful stories.
My creators for
the stuff that inspired them. Oh my gosh. It's like we do our interviews and we do our shows, but the compelling information that comes from all these wonderful individuals. I mean, you guys, we couldn't ask enough questions to get some of the reactions and some of the responses we got. So when you go onto the website, like I said, you'll see 20 to 30 of our newest members of our DHP community. And then also, you know, guys, ain't none of this shit free. So I'm gonna need you to buy a shirt, a hoodie.
But we do have a sale going on. Halloween, use code Halloween15. Grab you a hoodie, grab you some Halloween merch. We got some new hats now because y'all seen last season we did not have no hats.
We got some nice, wonderful Halloween
grab
merch.
you something and support us.
Support us.
And make sure you subscribe to the channel.
And then not only support us, you DM us, show us what you got, what you wearing it, so we can put it on our website and showcase the fact that there's like even a
we have supporters.
We have a growing community of DHP supporters, you know what I mean? So.
Yes. So we love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Subscribe to this video and like this video. Don't be shy. You can leave a comment. We're not gonna bite. But yeah, we love you guys so much.
Hit the subscribe button and like.
Please stay tuned.